That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about My Spy, which was originally scheduled to open March 13, 2020, but in the onslaught of the coronavirus, will now, as of this recording, be opening theatrically April 17th, 2020, courtesy of STX Entertainment. My Spy was directed by Peter Segal and stars Dave Bautista.
Explain the story.
Dave Bautista plays JJ, a CIA operative who is not very good at undercover work, and he bungles a mission and then is assigned to surveil along with his cohort Kristen Schaal, a single mother played by Parisa Fitz-Henley, with her daughter, in the hopes that a nefarious relative might contact her who has ties to some nuclear terrorism plot.
And very quickly, the young girl,
played by Chloe Coleman, Sophie,
she discovers they're being surveilled,
yeah,
watched by the CIA. She blackmails them in a way so that JJ will be her friend.
Yeah, basically.
So the bulk of the movie is him sort of interacting with the girl. And it's very predictable. Ultimately, they catch the bad guys and presumably save the world. Mm-hmm. So this movie was more entertaining than I thought it would be.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. What did you like about it?
I find Dave Bautista charming. I think, as we talked, we like that he doesn't feel neutered or made to be kind of asexual. But apparently, Mr. Bautista does not like this film's comparisons to Kindergarten Cop, but it feels very much like that 1990 classic starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, where Schwarzenegger was somebody in comedies that was often kind of made to seem asexual.
Yes, this film is PG-13, so I think Dave Bautista's character is allowed to be a little more
onerous.
Yeah, adult, which I enjoyed. I don't know that I think it's appropriate for, people under 13.
Yeah,
but I'm sure
I also like
you raggedy ass parents are going to drag your 6-year-olds to it.
There were a lot of children at the press screening. Kristen Schaal is entertaining as Bobbi, but again, she's doing what she always does as well. So if you like it, you'll like her.
But the humor, I laughed many times during the film.
Yeah, it's got some good lines. Some of those which might have been improvised, perhaps. But so Peter Segal is a director. We actually have a poster adorning one of our walls of a Peter Segal film, which
I know which one it is.
Yeah.
Nutty Professor to the Clumps, starring Janet Jackson, Eddie Murphy's in it too.
Oh yeah.
No, I like it.
He also directed Second Act with Jennifer Lopez, which I have not seen. As a child, I think his debut was actually Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult, with Anna Nicole Smith. Which I have fond memories of. Tommy Boy, he did Get Smart, that revamp of that from that old series.
Peter Segal?
Yeah.
He sounds like a good time.
Sure.
I mean, he makes lighthearted, fun movies.
Yeah, they're all kind of along. It was written by Erich and Jon Hoeber, who wrote Red and Red 2, The Meg, and
Meg.
And Battleship, and a terrible Kate Beckinsale, Tom Skerritt film, Whiteout.
Well, Battlefield wasn't good either.
Battleship.
Mm-hmm. Right?
No,
that's the one with Rihanna.
Directed by Peter.
There was a Benson interruption about that one.
Yeah, that was.
And I had to leave because my butt was itchy. Was that the one?
No, that was a Benson interruption of Prometheus.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't make it through the opening credits, and this fool thought he had bed bugs.
I really did.
But based on the fact that Peter Segal, Peter Segal and the Hoebers wrote it, I had very low expectations and came away pleasantly surprised. I did really appreciate there's an interracial gay couple played by Devere Rogers and Noah Dalton Danby.
So in the screening we were in, there were a lot of children and older people, and whenever the gay couple was on screen, particularly the black man, because he's quite flamboyant, I could hear people kind of moaning in disapproval, which made me happy. So I'm glad
Same.
that was a nice addition. Unexpected.
What didn't we like?
Oh, well, you know how I feel about kids. Precocious kids. She's a little too smart for her own good.
Ms. Coleman, yes, her.
But she's great. Like, she does a fine job, and it was necessary for I think the advancement of the plot for her to be so sort of precocious. But you know, whatever. It works. I think probably the weakest part for me was her mom. Because she's supposed to be this vulnerable, or they make her out to be this vulnerable person. I don't know why she needed to be. Also, her profession as an ER nurse belies, you know, that temperament. Like, I would think she'd be very put together.
Yeah.
She even says, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which I felt like was kind of disappointing
Interesting.
for her.
Parisa Fitz-Henley, who we brought up in our Fantasy Island review, but name.
She's gorgeous.
Yes,
too pretty to
gorgeous.
be fucking slave marriage to Michael Pena in Fantasy Island. But,
And actually, probably a little too beautiful for Dave Bautista, but
wow. But he's sweet. And
he's sweet. We can get to the hairline that you had the problem with. Chloe Coleman's Big Little Lies fame. She's going to be in Avatar 2.
Okay.
Yeah, the soundtrack I had a problem with.
It's a little hokey, although the funniest line in the film for me is when Dave Bautista's character goes on a date with
Kate, played by Fitz-Henley.
Kate. And there's a point where Cardi B's I Like It comes on, and there's a dance number, and it's cringeworthy how bad he dances, but his partner Bobbi is like witnessing him on closed circuit camera, and she says, "Oh my God, this looks like the wedding from Shrek." That line is in the trailer, and it just was like so perfect.
Yeah, there are a few.
But the music is hokey besides that one.
Yeah, because you got to think. I haven't watched Kindergarten Cop in a long time, but I want to feel if I did, I would rewatch it and there wouldn't be these horrible pop songs.
Very timely references.
Oh,
but,
like
you know,
in 20 years, if anybody's watching My Spy.
or still alive.
Well, yeah.
The only other thing that bothered me, which is I think just a sign of, you know, like our culture and aesthetics and beauty, is Dave Bautista's hair. It's really bad.
There's nothing wrong with being bald.
There's nothing wrong with a man losing his hair. In fact, I would expect someone who looks like him to have a bald head, actually. So
He often does.
and then look at, like, you know, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he's considered a sex symbol, and he has a buzzed head. So, you know, it's sad to me that he was forced, or maybe he requested that his hairline be altered. It's very obvious they're using like a fiber, like topics on his hair, and it's not consistent within shots. Like certain angles, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
You know, that's not really detrimental to the film or the story, but it just is kind of like sad to see, because I think he's such a likable character, and obviously a big muscly man. And
I know.
there is a plot, you know, one element to the story is that a lot of women at the young girls' school find him attractive, and it just seems like he's attractive with or without that awful hairline.
True,
Yeah.
but you know, and it's just it's a formulaic film.
But why for him? Because that's what all women are sort of having to deal with in Hollywood. So,
and you know, just another example of these extremely hyper masculine men who we love to see them be vulnerable because that makes them lovable, but only because their sexual orientation is never in question. Like I'm a little tired of that.
Yeah, sure. What would you give this film?
I did 2.5 out of 5. I think is a fair rating for the film.
I would give it 2.5 out of 5. If you paid for it, you would enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.